my generation, I'll take the come on, come on, come on, let's get it on. Forget the loss, the money, we're in this together and do it all. They said that nothing's forever and they refuse to see the change in me. Why won't they wake up?
What up? It's your boy T-Bear and reaction. Today is Wrestle Wednesday. Now we done some 10 stuff. We've been doing a lot of 10 stuff from other channels, but today I've been doing a lot for Russ Culture. Now we got finished doing some 10 dumb stuff in wrestling that was Tommy Genius. Now we're gonna start getting some 10s of stuff that you don't remember or forgotten as well too. You know, sometimes a lot of time you may watch it, but sometimes you may forget it as well too. You know, everybody don't have a great memory. But anyway, we're gonna start off with 10 lockdown era superstar you totally don't remember. Boy, what a time we dealt with the pandemic in wrestling, with WWE and wrestling in general in the pandemic, where a lot of stuff was locked down, shut down to no audience and everything else as well too. Going from abandoned center, performance center to the Thunderdome as well too. So around that time, a lot of things happened. We saw the birth of the heel turn that folks been waiting for from Roman Reigns to happen, as well too. Start of the Tribal Chief Championship run, which thank God is over, but he's now the old babyface again. We witnessed a lot of awesome moments that unfortunately didn't get witnessed in front of the crowd, such as Rhea Ripley's WrestleMania moment, Drew McIntyre winning his first big title in WWE, and many others well too, as well as a lot of superstars getting their chance to shine during a lot of that era, but as well too, including those that we unfortunately would not remember. So we'll take a look at 10 lockdown era superstars we totally don't remember. Let's get it.
The Thunderdome and pandemic era was so bizarre looking back. It was like we all fell into the phantom zone for a while, and go and watch it today. Sheesh. It is impossible. Given that the roster was always shifting though due to COVID, some truly random people just turned up on the show. So do you want to test your brain?
Yep.
Sure you do. I'm Simon Miller. Let's go. Number 10, Denzel Jornet. I mean, he even changed his name during this time. He was Denzel Troy at one point, and even though he did have a decent show during the pandemic, he got released in August 2021. Just so random. Denzel was on a good few episodes of Raw, though, in 2020 as he wrestled Seth Rollins' Bobby Lashley. He even popped over to SmackDown to fight Sheamus. This was mostly in April and felt like a trial by fire for the NXT talent, although none of these went that long. His biggest scrap was against Jinder Mahal on Main Event. That was 6 minutes. The plan must have been to get the guy over, though, as commentators loved this dude because they couldn't praise him enough. Then it changed, which sort of summed it up. That was just the pandemic. Didn't make any sense. It was the worst.
And not to mention, if you don't remember, also, I'm trying to get my thoughts together. He also, I think one of the last appearances was one of his Apollo Crews soldier when he started his little Nigerian Prince Akeem gimmick as well too, and the other one being Trick would later on be Trick Williams. So yeah, that's another little tidbit right there. I definitely remember. Oh yeah, 205 was live with the lockdown era guys and guys that didn't last long. Kurt Stallion was definitely one of them. I remember him.
9, Kurt Stallion.
Yes, I remember
Kurt Stallion could have been a WWF superstar from 1987 or a porn star. Don't pretend you didn't think it. It's also a name I would have given myself as a child dreaming about a debut, so fair play to that guy. I respect it. He did join the WWE halfway through 2020, though, and was sent to the Performance Center, which is the way. And before that, Kurt was basically paying his dues everywhere. It was when he was performing in Promotion Evolve where WWE did scout him out. So finally, here is your opportunity. Stallion was able to get 17 matches under his belt too, although most of them were on 205 Live, if you do remember that. mostly because it just feels like a different time. In February 2021, Kurt also challenged Santos Escobar on NXT for the Cruiserweight title, but he lost. Of course he did. For some reason in June, he was then shown his walking papers, and he did have some AEW shots after that. And ever since, well, I don't really know. Number 8, Jake Atlas. Yes. The story of Jake Atlas is wild. Yes. He had some real buzz, which led him to joining WWE in 2020, and he was another guy who had a shot against Santos for that cruiserweight. And
let's see if he's mentioned it. Folks may not know the first time you may somewhat heard of him, you may never know, was on the Undercover Ball episode with Stephanie McMahon. That's how I found out that was the same guy. I'm like, wow, because I remember that watching it about a guy who's LGBTQ, he's trying to get into wrestling, and he got his little sign in, and then kind of found out that's him. That was pretty awesome right there, and I loved him as I loved him as a character. You know, I always got love for the LGBTQ as well too, as I have friends and second family in it as well too. And I love his theme song, the dubstep joint. I love it, everything, and his finisher, the LDB DDT, love it.
Title. For whatever reason, WWE then decided they weren't interested, so he was let go when he appeared in AEW in 2021. Right. You can go see the reaction to this as well. He had the fans behind him. They wanted him to do well. Yes. From nowhere, however, he was arrested on domestic violence charges, although they were later dropped. And ever since, thank God, we've not really heard a peep. The last time we saw him was the 7th of January 2022 edition of Rampage, where he lost to Adam Cole. Plus, he got injured during that. This was such a roller coaster. I did remember it certainly sounded like he was going through some personal issues, so I just hope he's doing okay now. I mean, sometimes you do just need to get away. There's nothing more important than your brain. Number 7, Jesse Camilla. Yeah. I do not remember this at all. Jesse Camilla was part of Robert Stone's ongoing management brand, though, which is why she teamed up with Aaliyah. Now they could all be under one roof. They competed in the Women's Dusty Classic in 2021, and that did not go well. They were eliminated in round 1. Whoops. WWE must have been keen because they were back together on the NXT TakeOver In Your House pre-show. Well, they actually got to face off against Zoe Stark and Sarai. Jessie sort of wrestled mostly for Evolve during her run in WWE because they wanted her to get more experience. Suppose it didn't work out. The story doesn't really go much further than this. Number 6, Austin Gray. What a name that is. I suppose it ties into the weather. It would be Gray in August. Nope. Wait, I've got that the wrong way round. He did team with the already mentioned Kurt Stallion on NXT and 205 Live throughout his stint. They even welcomed in Ashante the Adonis to take on the original Legado del Fantasma. Gray did work a few shows in front of the cameras, although he mostly lost to Timothy Thatcher on NXT TV. And on the 17th of March 2021 show, he got beaten by LA Knight. Yeah. It was different on 205 Live as he finally got some wins when he pinned Tony Nese, Jake Atlas, and Araya Davari. But then come June, he was gone too. The releases during the pandemic were ridiculous. I shall leave the big reveal to the end because today this is indeed Anthony Green, who has done quite well for himself. Yes, he did. He had a few shots in AEW. He's doing his thing in Indies, I will say that. He did a lot in Japan with Noah. Okay. I think that's pretty cool. Number 5, Scotty Tuati.
Yeah, I remember Sky Tal came back for a minute. Yup.
Joke. I'm sorry, but
hold up! Is that Von Wagner's one of the zombies? What the hell?
You need this. I have decided. We all know that during lockdown, WWE fell in love with cinematic matches, and I get it. We had to do something. Eventually, they pushed the boat out too when we got to Backlash 2021. And that bizarre zombie match. Damian Priest and The Miz were tasked with making the sponsors happy as they had to work around actual members of the Undead, and I still need to know. Does this mean zombies are now canon in WWE world? Because nobody has told me. Clearly this was just meant to be a bit of fun, because do you know who was dressed as a member of the Horde? Scotty 2 Hotty.
Wow.
You knew that was coming. And he was helping out backstage at the time and likely thought this would be entertaining. He's right. It was. When you see him, it's like the Leonardo DiCaprio.
I can't think of his name. I can't think of the Jacket Time name right now. Hold up. Can't think of my man from Jacket Time. That was my homie too. I was a fan of him. Let me see what his name was again. Eichmann Jiro, yep.
Pointing gif. Whether or not there was any talk of Scott having a proper match during lockdown, I don't know, but let's face it.
Why? I did not know that.
It would have helped. I know I keep going on about it, but this period was just so miserable. Number 4,
Catalina.
One day, Catalina
was you know that's Kalisto. I think that's Kalisto's wife. I think
was just on Raw. WWE also called her Carolina, teamed her up with Sin Cara, and had them face Andrade and Zelina Vega in November 2019. Didn't last long. Soon she was back to NXT, where she did become Catalina when she shifted again, because she became Katrina Cortez. And that's the most NXT name ever, but still, make up your damn mind.
I'm trying to remember that either she's a Kalisto or let's see. I'm trying to remember if she was Kalisto. I don't know if she was there. I thought she was Kalisto's wife. I'm wrong. I remember Kalisto's wife was a wrestler, and I thought that was her. But nah, that's somebody else. Never mind. It's somebody that was Kalisto's wife. I don't know why I thought that. But yeah, that was a mass wrestler too.
This sort of helped as Cortez had a decent run and even faced Bianca Belair and Asuka on separate episodes of WWE Main Event. And it felt like it was going fine when we got to November 2021, which is also the 2-year birthday of the mentioned match. And yep, Katrina was part of these mad releases for no proper reason. Right. Thankfully, she didn't stop and is doing really well in CMLL these days. That actually rhymed. So now I believe it must be true.
So it wasn't her, but is it somebody else that it was somebody that does the Lady Lucia that was, I don't know if she was on NXT or for a minute or something, that was I found out that was like Kalisto's wife. Yup.
Joseph Park, or Chris as WWE dubbed him. And yes, this was the former TNA monster Abyss. Back in 2005, he and AJ Styles had main evented the Lockdown pay-per-view, and clearly they remained friends. With Park going on to be a WWE producer, somebody decided, because we are stuck in lockdown, let's stick them back together again. This brings us to the 14th of August 2020 SmackDown, when Joe was here to help Styles win some matches with what he dubbed the phenomenal Intercontinental Statistics System. And yes, that meant it stood for piss. Old WWE could often be terrible. It's a shame this was so short-lived. Aside from the horrendous name, they did have good chemistry on screen. And it was fun, and that's all that ever matters, especially when you don't have any flipping fans. You could have even teased some Abyss stuff eventually, I was hoping they did. Do that. And to be honest, I don't have a good answer for you. Number 2, Dabbo Kato. I mean, you likely do remember him as Commander Aziz when he was teamed with Apollo Crews. But also, what the hell was that about? During lockdown, though...
Thank you, Simon Rant One. You know how I feel about that. But yeah, I remember he was like the underground superstar. He was like the underground tops guy for a minute. You know he's heel, but still. But yeah, I didn't. You know, I don't care. Folks loved it, and I did not like it. Because why it took him to go heel to embrace his culture. That's why I was so against that. Like, that sucks. You know, folks were using it as, how you gonna do somebody who's embracing the culture? But like, yeah, because why WWE make him a villain? Had to wait till he turned a villain to embrace his culture, so all the time he been there as a babyface.
McMahon had him as Dabbo Kato because he introduced Raw Underground. Recall that? WWE was going to be MMA for a while on Monday night.
Yes.
Such an odd decision. It only went from August to September 2020, and at first Dabbo was doing okay.
Yep.
He was big, so got to smash fools.
He went against Braun.
Sadly for him, Braun Strowman was bigger. Therefore, the monster among men beat him, and that was that. Raw Underground was dead. This was so blink and you miss it, I suppose it makes sense why we did just forget. And after recent news from Shane O'Mac, I think it's clear he really just wants to run his own fight league. The man is desperate for it. I don't really get why he just doesn't go and do it. Number 1, Jeet Rama. Jeet Rama's entire wrestling career was in WWE. He got a deal way back in 2015, but he must have been worried because in 2 years he only got 7 matches. By 2017, he was promoted to NXT house shows, when he waited another 4 years until lockdown rolled around. It was thanks to the Superstar Spectacle, a random WWE pay-per-view based on Indian superstars. So Jeet got an opportunity again.
That's how In This Shirt got debut as well too. I think around times how In This Shirt got known as well too.
It's AJ Styles. Makes sense. AJ can make anybody look good, which was sort of true here. Rama then lost. After that, it was back to 205 Live until NXT 2.0 was born, because that allowed Jeet to face Solo Sikoa, but the writing must have been on the wall. There weren't any major plans here, so if you do remember, man, You must watch wrestling like a hawk, and more power to you. I just hope you're happy.
Right.
Know of any other random?
Yeah, I definitely remember G Rama, man. I thought they had something going with that as well too. It was a good amount other from that sort swoop out supposed to go that could have been on there as well too. But yeah, other than that though, this was a good list though. I feel like the list could be a little bigger. But if you like my reaction to these, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bird signing off. One love.